at the home internationals back in April. Wales came out on top of that one, but it was a very close physical game, and I know both rosters have changed a little bit since then, but both will go in believing that you can definitely get the better of the other here.
Jack Hallett able to win the opening face-off for Wales. For Coach Dan Fennell, great to always visit with Coach. And for Sweden, Jonathan Quigley taking the draw. Martin Davidson, who's had a long and illustrious career coaching Swedish lacrosse as a former player, and he is back coaching Sweden in an international tournament. Swedes, of course, in the blue and yellow. Wales in the white on white with dark green trim. Underway and in goal as we'll go through the lineups. Richard Seidlitz is in goal for the Swedes, while Wales with a very balanced team in attack. James Tiley on the first offensive midfield. Josh Simpson-Pink, Ben Stringer, Alex Williams on the attack with Joe Harris, Tomo Rosser, and Tiley running the first offensive midfield. A screen set behind, and outside it comes here for the multifaceted Rosser, who 2 years ago really did it all, facing off and also running first midfield for Wales in San Diego. James Tiley twirling and not shooting Alex Williams, who's a natural lefty. Opening possession, it's a running time situation if this is your first game you're tuning in. The shot clock has been voted on and will be installed next year. Seidlitz makes the save on the step down on Tomo Rosser, and a good stop for the Swedes as they look for the clear.
Yeah, definitely. It was a nice settled offence for Wales. They worked the shot well, but in the end it was a big stop from the Swedish goalie.
However, a failed clear for the Swedes, and talking to the Swedes coaching staff, concern the middle of the field. Will we be clean in the middle of the field during this tournament? And they start things off by throwing the ball away.
They're looking really well structured here, Wales, which is something that you typically see from their offence. You've got quite experienced heads in there with Ben Stringer, Alex Williams, and mixed in with a few younger faces. It's definitely going to be an exciting team to watch this tournament.
Defensively for Sweden, Anton Johansson will start at close D, one of their captains, with Aaron Larkenfalt and Gustav Ekman. Feed cutting through, and Seidlitz, after the pass breakup, is on it. And the long stick midi, Gustav Thompson. Seidlitz, one of 3 goalies. Sweden, I believe, is the lone country that has 3 goalies on their roster for this tournament. You're allowed to bring 22. Seidlitz, Larkenfalt, as he's forced back to Anton Johansson. Johansson, very versatile, great stick. He can play short stick midi if needed, as he goes over the top for Joel Salenhag. And the Swedes on the attack. Ludvig Thompson joined on the attack by Anton Bromander and Captain Kevin Powers. Powers, one of the top attackmen in this tournament. However, the Swedes fumbled it out of bounds. So that's 2 possessions, 2 turnovers by the Swedes. Rest of the offense with Quigley running first midfield with Neil Schneider and Gustav Nordqvist.
There's almost an uncompeted clear there for the Welsh. Nice and easy pass down the line.
Seidlitz saw that looping pass, almost got it.
Josh Simpson-Pink with it now. Kept the ball well.
Joe Harris with the throwback. Room in time to shoot, and a quality look missed by Alex Williams.
Yeah, again, we're going back to that patience offense. You know, they kept it well after the initial failed pass through the middle and cycled it well and worked that shot. Just need to get it on target.
Joe Harris with a peek to the front. Well defended by Joel Salenhag, the D-midi. Sweden has a quartet of short stick D-middies that Martin Davidson will have the luxury of throwing out there. And a reset behind for Joe Harris. Wales upon their journey. It started back in September with tryouts. And Dan Fennell loves this team's drive and determination. But they've been perhaps a little bit up and down at times. Will his team consistently show up to their potential? Shot, Simpson-Pink shot, and the sprawling save made. Seidlitz looked to the goal. He kept it out and may have gotten some help from the pipe.
Yeah, certainly. That's a danger for the Swedes to look out for in Josh Simpson-Pink, someone that I have the pleasure of playing with every week, and that little dodge down the alley and a shot on the run. He can do it right, he can do it left, and he's certainly a player for them to watch out for. But a big stop for the keeper, and we're still goalless here, over 5 minutes in.
Johansson, and a patient clear here for the Swedes and Gustav Ekman. And now Sweden, who have already turned it over a pair of times, will now look for the first settled possession. Here's Kevin Powers for the first time, sitting on 149 career international goals. He was born in Stockholm before moving as a child. His dad is an American, to Issaquah, Washington, where he grew up. Here on the turn, and laying it off there is Bromander. And they'll dodge from X through Jonathan Quigley. Very much team-oriented has Sweden been, but certainly Powers will be the focal point. And can they find something in terms of midfield production in the tournament? They suffered 3 key injuries just leading up to the tournament, and that's been a common theme across the tournament as Nordqvist and for Martin Davidson and his staff. Just when you think you have a lineup set, you lose players, as that shot from Quigley. And Sweden has backup with a reset behind. But that's the nature of the game, and also the nature of this tournament, attrition, where players will go down when you're playing as many as 8 games in 9 days.
The games come at you thick and fast as well when you're out there. Sometimes you don't get that long to recover before the next. You just got to be ready.
Ludwig Thompson denied at the doorstep. Aaron Davey, the new starter for Wales. Wales having seen both of their goalies from 2023 retire. Davey is the next in line with Harry Perry, Finn Sykes, and Andrew Hopkins, his close defenders. The long pole midi, Owen Edwards, is back for that position.
I think the interesting one with Aaron Davey is big shout out to his dad Craig, is one of the officials out here as well, so that's a nice little moment for their family.
Transition chance for Wales, and save is made by Zeidlitz. James Tiley had the shot in transition. And Zeidlitz over the top here for Billy Ringstrom. Mentioning fathers, Billy Ringstrom, short stick D-midi. His father, Andreas Ringstrom, is the backup goalie for Sweden. Similar case for the Swedes, their ultimate pioneer on the women's side, Tekla Jackson, and she got a chance to play with her daughter in the World Championships a few years ago. Quigley got side netting. And the pursuit wide of Davey. Quigley with great pursuit, and he is the one knocked down. So Sweden is going to benefit with a loose ball push. And they'll keep possession. Quigley has appeared for Sweden going back to 2018 World Championships in Israel and every tournament, international tournament since.
Both defenses looking really, really compact and solid so far.
And Harry Perry with the caused turnover, ground ball, and push for Wales. As he winds it back for Jack Hallett, and Wales back to work. They've had the overwhelming amount of possession, and still no score, way past the halfway point of this opening quarter. Tiley with the rip. There it is. James Tiley starts the scoring in Wroclaw.
There it is, right on cue. You saying we wanted a goal. They've kicked it back up top, and he's just engaged straight away. A little bit of a hesitation, drops his shoulder, takes the contact, and that little jump shot off the run sticks it bottom corner, and you can see what it means to him. It's a fantastic goal to get Wales' campaign underway in this tournament, and we'll hope that they can get a couple more and extend the lead here.
Tiley playing at his 5th international tournament, recalling him in 2023. He was on the first midfield then, too. Quigley facing off and loses it to Hallett. Now Wales has traditionally always had a solid face-off group, but the benefit here, Frazier, Tomo Rosser no longer has to be the primary face-off guy and run midfield. That could be a great help for Wales, but on the dodge, Josh Simpson-Pink from GLE saw the opening, 2-0.
It's a fantastic individual goal there. It's come off the face-off win. He saw the defence spread as they're trying to get the substitutes, and he's just dodged under the pole, taking the space and just increased his angle. He's driven over the crease, and what a finish that is. Little jump shot. You see what it means to him. He's a player that came through the England under-20 setup, played in Limerick, came off the back of a big injury, and he's come into this Wales setup, and he will be a key player for them for sure.
Now Sweden will change it up and go to Henrik Nelson, their number 2 face-off man, against Hallett. Simpson-Pink noticing there was no slide behind Aaron Larkenfeld. And Wales quickly up 2-0. And stringing possessions together. The final game here at field number 1. Ralph Dynarczyk alongside Fraser Hunter, member of the Scottish national team pool, and knows several and has played against many of these Welsh players. With you from Wroclaw, Poland, on the end of the first full day of action. One game played last night, the opener between Poland and Czechia. Rosser, as he made the catch low, it is going to be a call against Sweden. See if this is a 1-minute cross check to bring down Rosser. Either way, we'll see Wales go man up. And the official does indicate 1 minute. 4 officials work each of these games, 3 on the field and 1 at the box. Anton Johansson picking up the foul for Sweden. So I believe there's a 1-minute cross check. So Williams to work. He's the lefty, 21 in white. Now shooting low to high, Zeitzlitz able to see it well. That's a quality look for Ben Stringer.
Yeah, they just worked really well off ball to get him open. Nice little rotation. It's quite a simple man up, but it works well. They'll look to do it again here.
Onto the field for the first time, 20 in white, the great Simo, Paul Simpson. Great pioneer of lacrosse in Wales. Inside Simpson-Pink, he may have grazed pipe as that goes wide. Paul Simpson made his debut for Wales in 2002. And he is the second oldest player in this tournament. Williams shot inside.
Backed up well though from Josh Simpson-Pink. It's amazing to see Paul Simpson still doing it at this level. You know, as someone who's played against him recently, his age, he doesn't let be a factor. He still moves his body when he needs to, and his stick skills are second to none.
Jump shot, Zeitzlitz the save, still man down as the ball is loose outside the crease of Zeitzlitz. And finally we're all even, however, one back by Simpson. Williams the look. And right now Wales just not hitting the cage. 2-0 lead. Simpson quickly re-enters in for Simpson-Pink. Josh Simpson-Pink to the front and eventually lost it. And a good job of tying him up by defender Aaron Larkenfeld of Sweden.
Yeah, he got the easy goal for their second one with no slide. The slide definitely came that time and did its job very well.
This will take us to the final minute of the opening quarter. Sweden has spent a lot of time defensively. Zeitzlitz well rescues that pass from Larkenfeld. Ekman will redirect to clear. No shot clock or failure to advance in the international game. Nordqvist and locates Ostergramming. Certainly a chief concern for Sweden coach Martin Davidson. Kevin Powers has handled the ball once in the first 15 minutes. Feet to the front, Powers had the cut. Davey saw it and may have deflected and knocked down the pass. And then interference is called against Sweden off ball pursuing. 15 seconds for Wales.
Finn Sykes getting the ball up the field there. Another teammate of mine at Wilmslow. He can push transition. He might be a close D, but he's got a few goals this season, and fancy his chances if he had it then.
Wales will spend the timeout here. You get 2 timeouts a half. So Coach Dan Fennell will take it here with 13 seconds to go over short time situations. Yes. Windy and overcast conditions here in Wroclaw. Here, Fraser, everybody's concern was when you play these tournaments in July, you better have great depth because the heat can wear you down. Not yet. Here, at least through one day, it appears, especially in the forecast next couple days. I don't know if it'll ever come.
Yeah, I mean, as a spectator, I'd love the sunshine, but I think this sort of condition, not too cold, little bit of wind, I think is perfect for playing. The one worry if the wind picks up a little bit is your communication off the bench and struggling to hear. But as things stand, I don't think they'll complain with this.
Short time for Wales, 13 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Sweden just killing off their first man down, which was a 1 minute. And Wales will start it with James Tiley.
Another goal here for Wales just before the end of the quarter would be a bit of a dagger, send a message.
Tiley forced back with 5 seconds to go. Feed to the crease, deflected, and Sweden is going to escape the first quarter with no further damage. But Tiley eventually getting the first goal 7 minutes in. Josh Simpson-Pink on a rush to the front made it 2-0 Wales. That's where we stand as we head to the second quarter. You're watching the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Start of the second quarter, 2-0 Wales. Tiley and Simpson-Pink with the 2 goals. Sweden killing off a 1 minute man down. And face-offs, 3-0 Wales. Among the themes that have emerged with Jack Hallett, and now procedure will be called. False start on Hallett. So that's a victory for Jonathan Quigley. And we'll see if that will slow down Hallett some. And for Sweden, if you're Martin Davidson here, Fraser, what do you think he told his team between quarters?
I think it's just a case of just breathe a little bit. You know, when they've cleared the ball, they've had a few sloppy turnovers. They've been patient at times, but not patient enough. And yeah, again, it's just high pressure from Wales' defence.
Harry Perry with the caused turnover and ground ball, but then Wales throws it away. So Sweden right back with it, and Kevin Powers. And Powers gets the matchup against Finn Sykes. And Powers just a second time carrying the ball. Then Powers is stripped by the help defender Perry. Wales all over number 20. He has been a known commodity in the international game for the last decade. And Wales is ready for the backside slide. Aaron Davey to now start the clear. And then Davey with a pass too short.
Bit of insider knowledge. I know Aaron got his sticks restrung only last week, so still might be breaking it in. Hence the drop pass, but got it up now.
Wales able to clear in transition. Joe Harris with the rip. Meanwhile for Wales, and your coach Dan Fennell, you have commanded the game, but lead just 2-0 after one. What do you think his message to the team at the break was?
Funnily enough, I think it's very much the same. It's just relax. You know, we've got this in the bag. Defence is doing a great job. When we get it up there, just keep working it, and the looks are coming.
Harris forced to his offhand. And a good aggressive slide from Anton Johansson. Wales to redodge. Speed from Simpson Pink. Wales so far with a high number of shots, but a low percentage here early second quarter. Now they restart with Ben Stringer, and he shoots low to high, or rather actually kind of high to low, and that's off target. And again the backup with Rosser.
They're certainly getting the shots off. As you say, it's just as soon as they get them on target, I imagine that scoreline starts picking up a little bit more.
Rosser shook his man. Feet in front, able to turn is Jamie Chambers. Now he is a difference maker, being a lefty that will cycle in for Dan Fennell. Chambers able to create an angle with his left hand, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, it's great work there from Rosser driving behind. Just gets his hands free, looks inside, and Jamie's there, the right side of his defender, and nice and calm and composed. You see that from him often.
Jamie Chambers coming on for the first time. He got promoted up for the World Championships in 2023, playing the same role after being on the U21 squad in Limerick in 22. Face off Quigley. Did not see it. It was at his feet against Paul Chapman of Wales facing off. And the ground ball well off the wing by Owen Edwards. So Wales in command of the score and possessions in this first game of the tournament for both teams playing in Group C in Wroclaw, Poland. Stringer unable to turn a corner. Wales was subbing through the box. Now a low shovel shot. Back up belonging with Wales. That's Will Monks. He will also factor in. Talked about the depth that Dan Fennell has. He's got 22 players. They may not have a lot of stars, but 1 through 22, they're very balanced. And he can turn to numerous players depending on matchups, different day. Shaking his man free and then scoring is Joe Harris. Well, he bumped off his matchup. That freed himself enough, 4-0.
Yeah, he's a player who's been reliable for Wales for some time now, and he's showed why there. He's physical, he's athletic, he just bounced off his defender, composed himself. Good old-fashioned shoot high to low. It's the way the coaches drew it up. Plays his lacrosse out at Timpley Lacrosse Club, Joe Harris. Former MMU alumni like myself. Sweden that come up with this face-off.
Yeah, first face-off win for the Swedes. Seidlitz has been patient in the clear, but he'll go over the top looking for Powers. And Powers is able to snag it before he's chased by Sykes. Then Powers' pass telegraphed Aaron Davey with an easy pickoff.
Absolute dime to Josh Simpson-Pink to kickstart an attack here from Aaron Davey. Settled it down now though.
Ben Stringer works it behind. And out front for Tomo Rosser. Joe Harris. Wales has gotten production from 4 different players. Everybody's engaged, looking to shoot, including this shot here from Will Monks, stopped by Zeidlitz. Sweden looking for the rebound. Now it's dumped down low and a finish. How unselfish. Joe Harris, the feed inside to Ben Stringer.
It's fantastic. I think the defence has honoured Joe Harris quite a lot after his previous long-range goal. He's just thrown a big hitch, made them all move, and just a nice little dish, and the composure from Stringer there. Threw a couple fakes, made the keeper move, and made sure he got his goal.
Wales now playing fast and loose offensively. And they might be in the vicinity here, Frazier, of 20 shots.
Definitely. We said it at the start of this quarter, they were getting shots off, just not many on target. Now they're getting them on target. I can see, unless Sweden changed something, you can see it really ramping up, and they call a timeout to try and do that now.
Back-to-back face-off wins is the good news for the Swedes, as they will attempt to talk it over. As we take a look at the Swedish side, and great to welcome back to International Lacrosse over on the right-hand side of the huddle. Actually here, as I identify the coaches, over there on the left-hand side of the huddle is Martin Davidson, who goes back to 1991 with Sweden Lacrosse, along with Jan Segerlius, his assistant coach, who goes back to 1989. Sweden among the original founding members of the European Lacrosse Federation, and these two men go back that far. There's now 10 lacrosse clubs in the country of Sweden, so they're starting to build up that number in terms of having participation, and then those clubs having some youth engagement to try to create some grassroots. And meanwhile here for Wales in their huddle, Coach Dan Fennell is in the midst of his full huddle. So far they're pitching a shutout here deep into the second quarter.
Yeah, about halfway through this second quarter, and they really are looking solid. Both ends of the fields right now, Wales. They'd love to shut down whatever Sweden have just chalked up and really send a message.
Out of the timeout, Powers to initiate, asking Martin Davidson what makes Kevin Powers still so good at this point. Powers able to walk in front and score. 150 career international goals for Kevin Powers. And it comes at a critical time for Sweden to get themselves going. It's 5-1.
And it's a good looking one to get him to that 150 mark. We've had a change of personnel on him out of that huddle. He's noticed it and he's just driven round, got physical, and then a little flick back over his shoulder into that bottom corner. It's broken the 0. He started his tally for this tournament.
Born in Stockholm before moving to Issaquah, Washington, attending college and playing at Dominican University in California, playing on the club team there where he was 4-time first-team All-Conference. Quigley wins the faceoff. Chance for more. Quigley shot. That's 2 quick ones for the Swedes.
Yeah, we've mentioned them winning the last few face-offs, and this time Wales have been punished for it. He's come up clean, flicked it to himself, and he's running down full speed. What a finish, just picks his spot, sticks it in that top corner. Aaron Davey didn't even see it coming. He's looking round confused. Sweden are getting back into this game.
They have completely changed their fortunes here at the Face-Off X. After Jack Hallett was dominant in the first 4, now they go back to Henrik Nelson after I think Quigley will have to catch his breath after that face-off win and dash. So Hallett will get it over to Rosser, uncontested on the wing. But Sweden in one little burst has made this interesting.
Yeah, I've said it a few times in the games I've done today, but one of the best things about lacrosse is it can all change in an instant. We've seen a few big comebacks so far this tournament, and Sweden would love to be another one to having that conversation.
Transition opportunity, Oscar Gramming picked up the loose ball off the turnover, and Wales is going to go in the box.
Yeah, it was...
It's going to be a 1-minute trip against Wales.
Against Sweden. Yeah, it was a good little ground ball from Finn Sykes there, and thankfully gets the flag, and Wales will want to get another man-up goal here.
So Powers in the box here, Frazier, for a minute, so it must have occurred after Gramming turned it over and pursuing that loose ball. In front, what a look. Williams, cross cage, and down to the pipe. Josh Simpson-Pink, and a quick conversion, 6-2 on the man up.
Yeah, I think they moved the ball that quickly. Josh Simpson-Pink didn't even need to move his feet. He had that much space. He's just stood hanging out on that pipe, and great little pass across from Alex Williams, and Josh Simpson-Pink's let him know how thankful he is with a little pointed celebration. Great little worked goal.
A momentum stopper for Sweden as we'll hit the 4-minute mark, second quarter. Hallett. And the attackman hoping for an opportunity, and it's all Wales on this ground ball. And Wales with one timeout remaining, 3:49 left, so Dan Fennell and his staff will perhaps talk about their approach here for the next possession or so, and we will keep it here. As Wales' journey going back to those September tryouts, and their great hope and plan is we want to be UK-based. This team is so together, Dan Fennell said, unlike any other squad that they have had, and they will run through walls together and run for each other. And something when you play in these tournaments, Frazier, it may not be able to be quantified, but so many teams have players coming in from all parts of the world and not just in from North America to try to combine and become a team. Wales very, very proud of the fact that they are able to be together for very often leading into this, and also they're together very often aside from this tournament.
Yeah, I know they've trained regularly and it's starting to show, but even more so, I think the time you have on the pitch is valuable, but the time you have off it together at training camps, eating lunch together, starts to show, and you get those connections, and it's a tight group of players that are playing great lacrosse here today.
Feet to the front, shovel shot, Zeidlitz kept that out. And a late flag coming out. The official on the near side indicating, I think, a 30-second call.
I think he's getting a push in the back. He's just deliberating. I'm not sure he saw the number of the player that committed the offence. They're just talking it through, but got a push in possession. That's what it looks like. Not sure. They're going to send the in home, I believe. And Wales get the ball back and get another opportunity with their man up, which looked very good on that last goal. Getting lots of messages coming through from Wales supporters back home. Former player Aaron Eastwood, his father Chris, watching the game along with many others, so it's great to have you and supporting this Welsh side.
Yeah, I remember Aaron Eastwood, big attackman. Feed curling through, Simpson is there. Just another international tournament that Paul Simpson has scored in for Wales. 7-2 on the man-up goal.
Yeah, I think death taxes and Simo getting goals, I think it's just a great little cut. And they moved the ball well and just textbook, catches it, shot over the shoulder, sticks it bottom corner.
Ben Stringer had the assist for Paul Simpson. There are countries that hope to find their Paul Simpson. Czechia has that. Pavel Dashli, 45 years old. Same for Paul Simpson. They're basically the same age. Every country looks for someone like that. That's the pioneer, that is the inspiration, that's around a long time, significant in growing the current teams that they're a part of, but also behind the scenes doing tremendous work to try to keep youth players engaged and keeping everybody together for a long time due to their character and class. That's what Paul Simpson has meant to Wales, and still making national teams at the age of 45. Stringer, and well wide of that here with 1:40 to play. Sweden had cut it to 5-2, 2 goals in a blur, before answers from Simpson, Pink, and Simpson.
Being patient with it again here, Wales, just trying to work the right matchups, and Rosser just shakes his player, but the slide does well in getting the ball out.
Larkenfeld had knocked it free. Simpson in front, stays patient. And the flag out. Well, when you have many games under your belt, Paul Simpson never panicked and able to make 2 to 3 stick fakes to have consecutive goals.
Yeah, it's come off a dropped pass, the ball comes out, and Simo's just wide open as the defender's been in for the little dogfight on the ground ball. Keeps his composure, as you say, throws a couple fakes, even with that defender on his neck. Sticks it in the back of the net.
Now we'll check on the flag. Ben Stringer with another assist to Simpson.
I believe the flag was for a push in the back.
Yep,
Obviously
so that's
technical, and that gets wiped after the goal. Good call from the officials.
So we'll stay even, and now procedure called against Nelson. Hallett the face-off win, and now another flag coming out against Sweden. And that might be Henrik Nelson committing another infraction. Zeidlitz will make the save there on Joe Harris.
I think if the flags are going to keep flying, this Wales team are going to have a field day. Man-ups looked very good. A few goals from it already, and that ball movement and the movement of players off ball is just punishing Sweden time after time. So,
and Nelson is called for an interference after the face-off loss, so it's just about an even 32nd man up for Wales. They can decide to hold for the final shot. Joe Harris. A lot of room and time for Stringer. And that shot blocked. And coming over to help, Gustav Ekman denied the opportunity. And a pickup here. Momentarily, James Tiley. And taken away from him by 19, Gustav Thompson. And the first half comes to an end. Sweden showed signs of life, cutting it to 5-2. After struggling facing off before Wales turned it back on again late over the final 5 minutes. Paul Simpson adding 2 more goals in his great career. Kevin Powers, the lone tally for Sweden, the 150th of his great career. It's 8-2 though, Wales at the break from Wroclaw. We'll be back in 10 minutes to bring you more action from the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV.
Yeah. Commercial break. We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive. Growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport. Governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Start of the third quarter, and it's a commanding 8-2 lead for Wales, leading Sweden. Ralph Bjornchik alongside Fraser Hunter joining you from Wroclaw tonight. Light starting to come on all the way around on this field one. Sweden got themselves back in the game and had momentum, scoring 2 quick goals to make it 5-2, and started winning faceoffs, but Wales has seemingly deleted that portion of the game, and they're right back to work with another possession. And they've capitalized on a couple of man-ups. Harris turning and firing and scores off the stick of Zeidlitz. Well, Zeidlitz appeared like he had some of it, and Harris targeting the lower part of the net puts it in. It's 9-2.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest in the end, but he's done really well to soak up the pressure, got his hands free, and just put enough power on it to get it over the line. It's just what Joe Harris does, really.
Zeidlitz frustrated. That's a ball that was generally in his stick. That most goalies would tell you that's one that they wish they got.
Yeah, it's one of them. You'd almost be stood there thinking, how am I going to clear this? You've got everything behind it, but sometimes they just sneak through.
So Sweden gets procedure following the ensuing faceoff with Niels Schneider. Kevin Powers has their lone goal, and he had to work very hard for it. Shooting over the defender, save is made. I think it went off of actually a Welsh defender. And slow to get to his feet is Andrew Hopkins. Hopkins waving to the bench that he's okay, but because time stopped due to the potential injury, Andrew Hopkins will have to head off. And also the possibility of a head injury as well can prompt an official to blow the play dead.
Yeah, I think his keeper will thank him for that one later. Bit of power behind that shot. Looked like it hurt. That's for sure.
Powers met quickly on the pipe and then loses his stick. And it'll be a whistle, I think playing without the stick. He took a couple of steps. Jack Hallett was the help defender there. And Hallett will have the clear. So Wales has defended Kevin Powers extremely well tonight. Rosser. And Rosser will now retreat. Rosser, in his Wales questionnaire, said, well, for the first time, I am not playing primarily face-off, so I apologize for how not so clean it is going to look this tournament. But watching Tomo pull double duty just in the last couple of tournaments, he's capable of being just an offensive midfielder and shooting low-to-low bench stringer.
Yeah, I think just talking on Tomo there, I know he's been heavily involved in the GB6s stuff, and with that's come the transition away from the face-off, and he's physical, he's got that strength, and it's working for him. He's definitely a threat in that Wales offence.
Wales does not yet have an indoor team, so some of these players that do play indoor represent Great Britain. But there is hope that someday Wales' numbers will increase, where even they will be able to separate. And then England and Wales will each have indoor teams, as we have another flag down, and it's going to be a 1-minute slash against Sweden.
So this Wales extra man offence be really clinical in that first half, and they'll be hoping that the second half's more of the same.
Paul Simpson returns for this man up. He'll play on the right wing, and being a lefty, Simpson patches and catches, and then moves off ball. Joe Harris at the top. Alex Williams down the right. Simpson, GLE. Worked in front, shovel shot, or shovel pass outside to Stringer. And look at how patient Wales is here. Then the pass intended, just as I say that, for Simpson, broken up. And on the ground ball is Gustav Thompson for Sweden. And then Zeidlitz had no real time to think. He has it checked out of his stick by Ben Stringer. Stringer quickly. Final seconds here in the man up. And then working his way inside. Jump shot for Josh Simpson-Pink. He's got 3. It's 10-2 Wales.
Yeah, you saw him as soon as this turnover happened. Stood in fields of space with his stick up. The ball finally comes to him and he just freezes his defender. He gets them jumping with a fake shot and just tucks it in the back of the net. He has been playing well this game.
How about the ball movement there, Fraser, from Wales?
Yeah, just really effortless. I think they all just found the shape, got out in the space and just moved it till they worked that goal. Just let the ball do the talking, and it's really beautiful lacrosse.
Hallett, face-off win, down it goes for Williams. And a low shot, Stringer dinged some pipe. Hallett in better position, and he will keep it for Wales. Jack Hallett's emergence as a face-off man has allowed Tomo Rossard to contribute solely as a midfielder, or primarily as a midfielder.
Yeah, I did wonder if Tomo, in some of the tighter games, would have to take a few faces. We'll see that later on in the tournament, but right now, the other guys are definitely doing a great job, and I don't think he's even thinking about it, Tomo.
Rosser got it to the front, and then being taken down with Simpson-Pink. Actually, he might have slipped down, but he's called in the crease. And over the course of this long tournament, maybe the advantage Coach Dan Fennell has in those key games that should Wales advance into the knockout round, you would have a much fresher version of Tomo Rosser facing off compared to being both the Fogo and running first midfield. As, again, we have another flag down. And this is going to be a 1-minute call against Wales.
Yeah, it's on Alex Williams for a slash on this near side. It's unfortunate, lost his foot in, turned the ball over, and then trying to ride it, just throws a lazy slash. I think this is the first look we've had at Sweden's extra man offence. I'll hope it's just as fruitful as Wales is.
Powers the throw down, and Powers able to rope a ball into Ludvig Thompson. Man up goal, textbook for Sweden to make it 10-3.
Yeah, just on cue. I was talking about how it was the first one we were seeing. Just a little bit of patience passing it across the top corner in the centre. And then Powers with that skip pass to a wide open little finish on the crease. Fantastic work from the Swedish offence.
That ends a 6-goal run for Wales. Henrik Nelson now to try to find some success he had earlier, again against Jack Hallett.
Yeah, the Wales penalty is still in the box, so if they can come up with it, they get more extra man offence time, but Wales winning it, and now the penalty's released.
Hallett shoveled it ahead for Rosser. The long pull midi still in deep, and Owen Edwards bidding for a goal, dropped it. One back though by Wales. Top 7 teams out of the 24 in these men's European Lacrosse Championships will qualify for the 2027 World Championships that will be hosted by Japan. Wales, one of the teams that on paper considered to be in that top tier mix. Rosser in front behind his man. One of those other teams, Fraser Hunter, would have been Scotland. But now Scotland losing this morning or earlier this afternoon to Switzerland, and that's been the one upset on paper on the day. Firing the shot.
Good little move.
That
Just
goes
sent it
wide by Simpson-Pink.
Yeah, I think I caught up with Coach Bagley a little bit earlier on, and they're gutted. They had a lot of the possession in that game against Switzerland and just couldn't find the back of the net enough. You know, kept their opposition to 8 goals, which was the target, but to only score 6.
Stringer, what a pass that he got from Rosser. And then Ben Stringer waited for the flyby from the defender. Beautifully done.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Just drives enough to get the defence moving. Rosser skips it all the way through, and Stringer's just patient, waits for the keeper to move and just picks a spot with that underarm shot. Yeah, again, it's great selfless lacrosse from this Wales team.
Ben Stringer, in the midst of a big game, 2 goals, 2 assists, among the leaders today for Wales. Nelson, as he pursued the ground ball, lost his stick. And Wales will come up with yet another face-off win, this time deep in their own end from Andrew Hopkins. Good to see him back on after leaving via the potential of injury before he was evaluated and cleared to return.
Yeah, it's always good to see that the checks have gone okay after taking one to the head. It's definitely good to see back on the field.
Ludwig Thompson, he tries to work through Andrew Hopkins. Wales traditionally big physical defenseman. This team no different. Powers frees himself, and his pass handcuffing Gustav Nordqvist. Nordqvist hockey sticks it along to a teammate, and that's going to work out well for Ludwig Thompson. And Sweden keeps the possession. And many of the Swedes, when you look at their bios, of course, growing up as ice hockey is their first sport. Thompson, and then that's well off target, before eventually at some point picking up a stick. Ludwig Thompson also growing up playing soccer. And Sweden turns it over. And the Swedes have just had trouble breaking down these Welsh defenders. The 4 defenders where Aaron Davey has had a comfortable game otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's something that we spoke about just before we were on air. If Wales get a lead, they're gonna strangle and suffocate you. Big physical defenders, and if you can't get them moving, you're not playing around them, you're gonna struggle, and that's exactly what's happened here. Nice little pass behind to Simpson Pink, who has been on form today.
Josh Simpson Pink, leader in goals with 3. And we have an offsides flag down now against Sweden. So the miscues have piled up on the Swedes. One of the adjustments that the players, when you talk to other coaches in the tournament, that they have to make, there are 4 officials that referee these games compared to playing club or even certain qualifiers or regional friendly games where you may not even have 4, including the box official that's counting up the offsides. Other tournaments you might be able to get away with that a little bit and away with a couple of extra infractions if they're just 2 officials, but not in these international competitions. And Sweden in the box again.
Yeah, I think we've seen Sweden man down at least 6 times. It's a great finish. Alex Williams turning the corner there.
Simpson fed him on the wheel, and on the ball went. Look at the multiple passes that Wales is able to make.
They're just so patient with it moving around the outside. And then Simpson, who's got a couple today, engages the defender, makes him slide up, and Alex Williams just fills that space. That's a perk of having 2 really solid lefties in your team. You've got to honour them, and there he's one of the easiest he'll score, Alex Williams.
Williams with his first of the game. Meanwhile, Paul Simpson just continues to do what he's done for over 20 years. 2 goals and an assist, perhaps quietly. He led the 2018 World Lacrosse Championship in scoring in Israel and continues to come back and now in a more limited role, but is still contributing.
Yeah, I played against him at the home internationals, and I was surprised at how quickly he moved for an old boy. He still got it, and I think his IQ is what stands him out above the rest. Just reads the game so well, and he can conserve energy just by being in the right spot.
There's some room for a shot. Simpson Pink, that's blocked off the back of a Swedish player. I think that was Aaron Larkenthalt that took great punishment. Final 10 seconds of the third. Rosser escapes from his man, and then Sweden denies him a clean look. Zeidlitz is up with it, and that's the end of the third quarter. Wales shuts out Sweden in the period. They score 5 more times, and they're on their way towards win number 1 at the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship from Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. (12-3) is our score at the start of the fourth quarter. Ralph Bednarczyk with Fraser Hunter, member of the Scottish men's national team player pool, joining me here tonight in Wroclaw, the final game of the day here on Field 1 that's seen 4 games. And the first full day has 1 more quarter left. We'll be bringing you nearly 100 games of this tournament. That will conclude on Saturday, July 19th. Wales hopes to be playing in that final, and certainly hoping to have clinched a spot in the World Championships in Japan, and then play themselves into a trophy. There'll be fascinating quarterfinal games to see who finishes 7th versus 8th. There's going to be a war for that one. And also there is a new Division II tournament. It hasn't, I think, formally been called one yet. But if you know what the NIT tournament is, the National Invitational Tournament, let's say in men's college basketball in the United States, NCAA, a second tournament that teams that will not qualify for the World Championships, which is, I think, 16 teams, that'll take place in Japan. There's another tournament to keep lacrosse going and to give all these teams something to play for and to continue to achieve and develop. Turning the corner, that shot is blocked off the stick of James Tiley, and the pickup from Nelson of Sweden. But that's another interesting idea. So there will be a game for 21st place that will be fascinating next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, as the teams try to play their way into qualifying for that tournament. Harris, as he is smothered, attempting to clear, and yet another flag is out against Sweden. And so moving forward here, Frazier, for Sweden coach Martin Davidson, in any level of lacrosse, it's very difficult to win when you're in the vicinity of 10 penalties early fourth quarter.
Yeah, definitely, and some of those penalties have been really cheap to give away as well. Quite a few technicals for just real lazy decision making, and ultimately I think if you go man on man, that scoreline's considerably narrower, so it's something that going into later games they'll definitely want to stamp out, but for now they've just got a damage limitation and try and stay out the box.
And it's given Wales a lot of opportunities to work on their man-up unit that has looked fantastic. With ball movement, movement off ball, shooting percentage. And now a call off ball against Wales, just as they say that. The official yelling at a hold, perhaps trying to set a pickoff ball. And that is last touch by Wales on the attempted ground clear.
They have successfully killed the penalty here, Sweden. He looked a lot better back there, rotated well, and obviously the call going their way. Now they'll look to kick-start their attack here, try and close that deficit 1 goal at a time.
That's Ludwig Thompson as he turns into a question mark move. Aaron Davies still in goal for Wales. Sweden has been held scoreless in the second half as that pass gets away. And the follow-up ground ball to save today, Gustav Thompson. And Thompson will roll it along to a teammate in Anton Bromander.
It's great ball movement.
Powers, and that shot hitting pipe.
They transitioned really well there, Sweden. Moved the ball quickly, found that open pass for Powers at the back, and you would have bet on him scoring with his goal record, but not to be right there.
Then Wales will take it the other way, and they'll get a layup inside. Josh Simpson-Pink having one of the biggest games for Wales with 4.
Yeah, he's turned his defenders so well. I was talking about Sweden's transition, but my God, defence to attack in seconds there for Wales, and Josh Simpson-Pink just soaks up that pressure. Nice little calm finish over the top of the keeper. It looks like they have actually changed keepers this quarter, which is interesting.
In goal now is Andreas Ringstrom, wearing number 1. So with his son on the team, he plays for the Farsta Lacrosse Club. That's the most successful club out of the 10 that have existed in Sweden. I think it's also the longest standing club. So Andreas Ringstrom is in the game. And he is nearly 50 years old. He's been an ice hockey goalie for over 30 years. He's been a goalie in every single sport, including sports like ice bandy, which is a similar form of kind of ice hockey and lacrosse. With his son William, who plays as a field player, he has been a trained ice hockey goalie too, following the footsteps of Dad, at least on the ice, not in lacrosse. So Andreas Ringstrom is in to finish this one out for Sweden.
It's good patient attack again for Wales to just getting the movement off ball and just keeping that ball hot. No one's keeping it in the stick too long. I say that as he skip it back up. A little behind the back pass there from Pinky.
Simpson-Pink, then he'll follow that up with a behind the back shot. And that's all about Wales would need to really put a capper on this one to come up with a highlight film goal.
I mean, I'd argue quite a few of their goals have been highlight worthy, but more for the team aspect. That's a great finish.
Jamie Chambers, lefty off the bench, freeing up that left hand with his second 14-3.
Yeah, he's just driven really well, soaked up the pressure, turned the corner, and he's just picked his spot. Just planted those feet on the turn, squared his hips to the goal. It's how you coach the kids to do it. It's textbook. Plays his lacrosse out of Sheffield Steelers, JB Chambers.
As Nelson kicks forward. And we've seen the full array of different talents, Fraser, that Wales has.
Definitely. They've got, I think you've mentioned their depth a number of times, but they've got a bench that's full of talent and talent that work in different ways as well. So it's a hard offense to read because they're just going to keep the ball moving and different players are going to drive at you in different angles. And if I'm a coach preparing to play this team later this week, I'm scratching my head and struggling to know how to play them because, you know, when they're moving it this quickly, it's difficult for any team.
Harris, throwback. Rip comes from Simpson Pink. Well, that was tailor-made on a simple screen and roll. And watch 23 and right, Joe Harris, all of a sudden turn his head.
That little split dodge from Joe Harris just opened up the defence. And Josh Simpson Pink, before the game, I told him I'd be nice to him on the commentary if he scored 5. Well, he's got all 5. It's been a hell of a day from him and marks a fantastic start to the tournament for Wales. Just picked his spot in that top corner really well.
2 and 2 for Joe Harris. Simpson Pink with 5. The tournament high so far is 6 goals scored by Czechia's Caden Vlasimski last night. Gustav Thompson, as he carries, look out from behind, Joe Cole of Wales.
A little bit of afters there. Yeah, players making out like it's worse than it was. A little bit of a love tap.
Sweden granted a timeout just before Aaron Larkenfeld got himself into trouble. So for Wales, I think if you're head coach Dan Fennell of Wales, this could not have gone any better. What do you think has pleased him the most with the way this game unfolded?
I think it's that synergy and how they're just working together. I know we mentioned it earlier, the amount of time they've spent on the field together, but off the field as well in the last sort of 12 months or so. It's really starting to show, and if your offense is running this smoothly and the passes are just clicking this early in a tournament, just bodes well for the rest of it. I know I was speaking to the coaches last night and they weren't putting too much importance on this game, which, you know, it's a big game in the group, but they were just letting the players just vibe it out and really get those connections. And I was speaking to them earlier today as well, and they were saying how relaxed the team were and they were just doing their own thing. They watched a couple of the games on the stream and then down at the fields, and then as soon as the helmets went on, they've been ready and they've been firing. And if I'm Ireland or Croatia, knowing that I've got to play this Wales team in the coming days, I'm worried because they have looked very, very good.
Group C is only a 4-team pool, and that is because, unfortunately, Armenia had to pull out of the tournament very, very late. This was scheduled to be a 25-team tournament with 5 different groups. Group C ended up being the one shorted with just 4. So, unfortunately, Wales, and in some ways, fortunately, but maybe unfortunately, they have the day off tomorrow before they will have a battle and an absolute brawl coming up on Saturday here against Ireland. And then they'll have another day off before they battle Croatia. So these teams in Group C will all play one less game. And of course, that could be a great thing. Power's pass in front is deflected. And Sweden will recover.
If you're Sweden here, you're just trying to get a few more goals on the board. You know that comeback is probably out of reach with 6 minutes left on the clock and 12 goals behind. But if you can get a few, it gives you a little bit of confidence going into those other group games. And you know, especially with a player like Kevin Powers, if you get him firing, get a few more on the board for him and give him that confidence going into a game against Croatia, then that puts you in good stead for sure.
Kevin Powers scored the first goal, his 150th of his great international career, and then would add an assist on the third goal. And the other goal was scored by Jonathan Quigley off of a clean face-off win to make it 5-2 at the time. Powers pass, and that's away from his teammate Salenhag. And a Sweden turnover as we'll hit the 5-minute mark. Ireland looks to be very, very strong again, with a lot of players from the United States and Canada, with a lot of NCAA college experience, great depth. Not as much time together, though, as this Wales team. That's going to be one to watch on Saturday.
Yeah, I managed to watch that Ireland game earlier, and they were still trying to figure out a few tweaks, I think. As a team, as you say, not played that much together, but they've got some very strong individual players, and it really shone through in the scoreline.
Williams, wide open player Stringer, and Stringer could not convert. Ringstrom got post to post. Attempted to come up with a clean ground ball, Gustav Thompson, but Wales all over it on the redefend. Rafael Nielsen could not pick it up cleanly for Sweden. Tiley out top. Tiley throws it inside for Simpson and threw it behind Simo. And Anton Johansson, as he has it, a flag is out. This time it's going to be a 30-second call. I think an interference will be called against Tiley of Wales.
Yeah, Tiley, who obviously opened the scoring for Wales. Right back at the start of the first quarter, he's tries to hustle on the ride there, stop the fast break, and just unfortunate with a little interference call.
Sweden had a chance to work on their man up. Powers started up top, and look at the pressure on Powers. It's an over and back caused on the man up. Wonderful pressure. That time by Harry Perry.
He's had a great game today, Harry Perry. What a finish that is from Stringer. And it's come from that defensive play. You're man down, but you don't care. You know, they've pressed out high, and Harry Perry's down the other end of the field taking the plaudits, because that was fantastic from him. Pressing high, getting the over and back, and then getting the restart quickly. Stringer took that well. Caught it, turned, low to high. Thanks for coming.
3-2 for Ben Stringer. That is a man-down goal. And a lot of credit to Harry Perry for creating that. It is so rare to see an over and back called against a team man up.
Yeah, it is really interesting to see a man-down defence be that aggressive at the point, but as soon as the Swedish players started backing off, they knew they had them, and came up well for them.
We'll hit 2 minutes to go. Sweden has been held to 1 goal in the second half. Kevin Powers with 1 and 1. Wales has been very quick to slide to number 20. And certainly Ireland and Croatia will be very aware of him. Powers. And Powers adds another. Just a quick whip of the stick once he beat Harry Perry with his initial step, 16-4.
That's what he can do. He's not had many chances in this game, but just a nice little dodge down the alley, gets his hands free, and just picks his spot. Aaron got down, but not fast enough, and I was saying that he'd want a bit of confidence going into the other games, and that might just give it him. It's a great finish.
Well, his game sense that his coach Martin Davidson notes He's played box lacrosse with Team Sweden. He just finds production and known for lifting everybody else's ability behind the scenes and talking through the game at events. We have a timeout here taken by Wales with 1:25 left. I think this is going to be Dan Fennell making sure that they manage the rest of this game without any injuries and very cleanly before they look ahead to their day off.
Definitely.
And then what will certainly be more than I think what we can guarantee here, Fraser, the game against Ireland will be hotly contested and probably extremely physical.
Certainly, it's one that you won't want to miss. I think Ireland, when the draw happened, would have been looking at that group with a big smile on their face, thinking that we won't really have anyone testing them that much with the roster they have. But this Wales team's really sent a statement today, and the way they've moved the ball, they've been physical in defence, really put pressure out, and it's going to be a great game that you really don't want to miss.
Again, that'll be coming up on Saturday, 11:40 local time here in Poland on Saturday, July the 12th. Wales and Ireland, and that could decide this Group C. Again, the top 7 teams out of the 24 teams participating in the European Men's Lacrosse Championships will qualify for the World Championships in 2 years in Japan. And in order to do that, the definites are the 5 group winners. And then once you're in those 5, and then the next teams, the next 3, will of course be in the winner's bracket quarterfinals. And then 2 of those 3 will be the final 7 standing, and of course you're playing for a championship trophy here. Wales out of the timeouts, and we'll see if they will bother taking a shot as we're inside the final minute. But it's a tournament of attrition, and to get there, you want to get there healthy with your lineup intact. And certainly here in Group C with no Armenia, you're playing one less game in pool play. As this ball is lobbed over where Simpson handles. Otherwise for Wales, a super performance. You can pick your star. Josh Simpson-Pink was wonderful as a finisher. Ben Stringer, probably just as good. 3 goals, 2 assists. Paul Simpson was also excellent with 1 and 2. On and on it goes. The number of different scores were there tonight for Wales. Joe Harris with 2 and 2. And in the face-off X, Jack Hallett was pretty good. Definitely above 50%. And it allowed the defense in front of Aaron Davey to play from in front the whole time. Here is Davey. And in the final seconds, but Wales starts the European Lacrosse Championship in a big way.
Yeah, what a result for Wales. You can see what it means to them there, all going in to give Aaron a hug. I think the amount of names you read off for high-performance players speaks volumes, and if you're the Wales coaching staff, you're leaving here tonight with a big smile on your face thinking, we've got a full day to prepare for Ireland and we're up for this fight. So, take my hat off to them. Sweden put up a battle, but this Wales team really played them off the park, unfortunately.
It does set up the showdown on Saturday between Wales and Ireland. 16-4 Wales in a lopsided score in Wroclaw. Sweden will be next in action also on Saturday when they will take on Croatia in Group C play. And then on Monday, they'll take on Ireland before the knockout stage begins. 16-4 is our final. Kevin Powers led Sweden with 2 goals and an assist, including the 150th goal of his international career. For Fraser Hunter, my name is Ralph Bjornchik, and our entire crew saying so long and goodbye. More lacrosse starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. here from Wrocław, Poland. You've been watching the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV.